My name is Johannes Pfeffer, and I founded a company, a project called Hyro that builds human-centric AI agent systems. And I'd like to talk about a few aspects of AI as an interface to blockchain. So in February this year, there was this article by Vitalik, which spurred this presentation. It's called The Promise and Challenges of Crypto and AI Applications. Who of you have read the article? Hands up, please. Okay, I see like 4 or 5, right? Well, in the article, Vitalik has identified 4 main categories of AI and crypto intersection, with which I agree a bit and sometimes I disagree. But let's go through them real quick. So he sees AI as a player of the game, as an interface to the game, as the rules of the game, and as the objective of the game, right? That is these 4 categories. I will have to speed through the initial ones because this is a lightning talk, but yeah, well, AI as the objective of the game, it means that the goal is to create models that can compete with Anthropic and that can compete with OpenAI, right? And AI needs a lot of money to develop, and crypto startups have shown to be able to raise a lot of money in large sums, and this could actually be a chance to create a competitor that is better aligned with humanity, right? And there are great projects doing this, for example, the Sentient Foundation, but also BitTensor, and more projects are coming up, and I'm really looking forward because we all need these models. Then there's AI as the rules of the game. This is something I will just only very briefly touch on. The goal here is to be able to run and call into a trusted AI, and so that DAOs can use AI, for example, as a judge, because we can prove the computation, we can keep things secret, we can prove the training data, and we can trust it, right? We're not very far on in that area yet, but yeah, hopes are up. And the last 2 categories, or the first 2 ones, are these: AI as an interface to the game and AI as a player in the game. And the goal here is to act on the blockchain. But how, right? So first, you need to give the AI tools. You give them research tools, access to web, analytics, maybe scam detection, maybe even transaction simulation, lots of APIs. And then you also need to derive on-chain actions from intentions of the user. And that results in basically a unified interface to blockchain apps. But why are we excited about this? It is because there is no way that humans can manage the complexity of our ecosystem on our own. Let me illustrate this a little. Why do we even need AI as an interface? Well, let's say you're just a random dude or a random girl in this world, and you have heard there must be an infinite garden somewhere. And you go looking for it, right? Well, you dive a bit deeper, and there it is: Ethereum, Bitcoin, Solana, Goatsea. 1,000 blockchains, 400 L2s, 10,000 apps or more. And you're like, wow, but what happens next is kind of sad, because most of the people that join this way, they either get scammed, they buy a meme coin and then they leave, or they get confused because it's all so much and they don't understand it and they leave. Or maybe they get rich and happy, but unfortunately, the last category is rather a minor percentage. The complexity is just huge. The human brain cannot comprehend it fully, even after many years in the space, and definitely not when you're new. And the space of change is only increasing. The speed of change is only increasing. Most people that are new don't even have a concrete intention yet, right? They don't want to bridge from optimism to fuel, but they do smell the opportunity. They might have a notion of being part of a DAO, or discover the infinite garden, or say maybe I want to get rich, but they don't know how to get there. And here comes the thing. Autonomous agents are exactly in the same position. The agent and we have the same problems and likely the same goals. We and the agents are using the same tools, the same APIs, the same everything to achieve these goals. So I argue that player in the game and interface to the game is converging with each other. From the perspective of the blockchain, there is no difference. From the perspective of the blockchain, there is no difference between a human player and an agentic player. The blockchain is agnostic to that. It is a neutral layer. But there is a difference on another dimension, and that is autonomy. Let's illustrate these differences. Let's place existing projects on this spectrum. So Terminal of Truths is not really autonomous. Andy is curating the tweets before they get posted. But it's still, some of the stuff is for apping autonomously. Hyro, the product I built, is human-centric. We're trying to give control over the agents to humans. And Coinbase's based agent system, that's just an SDK. You can build anything on that spectrum. So let's take a step back and see what this means. If agent systems and interfaces are converging, and the main differentiator is the degree of autonomy, in what type of a world will we live? So here's my first take. In any complex system with thousands of tools, and especially in a system that is neutral and uncensorable, we cannot compete with agents. Agents never get tired, they scale well, and you'll never see a worse version of them than now. The only option we have, if we don't want to give up our own agency, is to make use of agents. We will mostly use agents and agentic interfaces to do stuff on Ethereum and on all other corners of the internet too. And our best bet is that the combination of humans and agents is more effective than agents alone. If that's not the case, then humanity is in big trouble. So let's build agents for humans, and let's make sure that humans are not sidelined in permissionless systems such as Ethereum. I want humans to play in the infinite garden, and that's what I'm building towards. And with this, my time is up, and I thank you for listening. If you're interested in blockchain versus AI agents, follow me on Twitter, and check out the human-centric agent system that we're building at Hyro. Thank you.
Thank you. I love the way you concluded it. It's all about human and agents together. Any burning question from our audience? Oh, Barry, and there's a, yes.
Hello, great presentation. I just wanted to ask that if we as humans give agents the whole permission, is there a way to control them? Because if we give them the whole transaction power, they can do transactions that we do not want as humans to be executed. And then we might be in losses, and then we might wake up and see our whole account to zero.
I see, yeah, of course. Very good question, and I'm not just saying that because it is one of the central questions when we're trying to make humans use AI agent systems, right? If the agent is autonomous, then we don't care, right? If they lose their money and if they do something, well, they are autonomous. But if we want to be in control, there has to be a lot of checks that what the agent wants to do for us on-chain is actually what we want to do on-chain. So our approach is to have another model that basically tries to match the intent of the user and the transaction being suggested and score that, right? So that, but yeah, the problem is not solved with that. It's just the first step. I think we have a long ways to be able to be 100% sure that what an agent suggests and wants to do for us is really what we want to do.
I mean, if you say that the agent is autonomous, it means that it can take actions on its own.
Right, and it's also responsible for its own actions, right? That's the fully autonomous version.
Okay.
We have one over here. Yes.
My question is essentially, could you explain a little bit more about how AI agents are an improvement over something like robotic process automation and those kinds of bots?
Right. So process automation is something that we've done to tackle complexity too, right? But process automation is not creative. It turns out that agents are really good at something that we thought would be a domain of humans, and that's creativity, coming up with new ideas, iterations of what has already been done. And that's like, to automate a system in robotics or in process control, you actually have to do a lot of work, right? You are doing the work, and then after that you gather the fruits from that, and you have lots of efficiency. But agents, because they are creative, they can actually do single tasks that you do only a single time, right? And they automate specialized tasks, and that's a big, big difference.
One last question, a quick one.
Are there any EIPs or ERCs that are like based on agents? Or
Are there any?
EIPs, like proposals?
I'm not really sure that if there are yet any EIPs, because I know there are several projects that are trying to solve the problem of using AIs from the blockchain calling into, but I'm not sure. Sorry, I don't know.
Okay, no worries.
Thank you, and that's it for our question session. I guess we can reach out to Johannes
Yes.
after this.
Please do
and
so.
let's give him another round of applause.